Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Alaja, Nima, Akashat. Zubiri, how are you today?
I had the most fantastic lunch yesterday with at BIF after party on Instagram. Our deputy, she sent me this fried shrimps and fish.
Oh, that's the one you're still eating today?
Never know. I even have it in portions now. I'm going to do it today again. You know, those were lunch for when I was growing up. Lunch was largely groundnuts till I was in university, and so I've only done groundnuts recently because having to do shrimps is a lot of work. And then I just saw it on her page. I was like, got to plug
Really
it.
nice.
Oh, DBC that does. She does
producer.
After party,
yes. After party snacks.
How poor be all those things? DBC, me and you are going to have this
Relationship will continue.
Good relationship for a long
I don't know how Nima
does it well.
touch it all. Everybody likes really that's a
gift.
It's a gift.
It is.
I don't need. When she said me, DBC, like DBC, read the same DBC. Wow, that's a gift. Well done, well done. I tasted it was really good too.
I felt very jealous about my husband's. People showed up for my husband in Benin for the burial, and it was like, I understand. I know I've seen him do what he does, but like that was the first time we're having opportunity to see people able to reciprocate. It was the love was massive. People came from. Yes, people showed up for him. Surprise, Seth. I was like, "This is well."
The relationships are good.
Relationships
It's
are
an
investment. It's an investment, and it pays. You have people that have your back when you need it. I wanted to banter about, it's tough to be a powerful woman and single in Africa, actually. I think because it's an African main thing. Talking to one of my friends, that she's single, she's in her 40s, older friend, and she's in the past few years, she's not getting proposed to, like, by eligible men. Yeah. So it's a case of, and she's a Christian, she's living pure, I'm not playing around, decent life, and you're single for over a year, and they're not saying men are uncomfortable walking up to you because you're the MD of a big corporation, or you're single. No. I just feel like we need to raise our men to be more comfortable, at least in the next generation, because there'll be more stronger women. In the next generation of children, our women will be very, very strong. So we must let our men be comfortable to say, I can toast a woman that has more money than me, more powerful.
It's an important conversation.
You think there are men that will be able to, but also it's about who you think is eligible for you as well. It's a two-way street. Yeah. Sometimes a man may come up and you don't think he's your match.
Doesn't matter.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. I saw this post. You know that white guy that goes around Nigeria? Yeah. So he finally went to Plateau State and he was talking about Jos and everything. And I was just feeling so proud. Because every time any one of you, have mentioned that you'd like to come to Jos, I'm like, it's a nice place. But, beyond a weekend, I don't know how it would be exciting for someone that's lived in Lagos like all their lives. But he sort of...
Give a different perspective.
Yes. And honestly, it would be lovely to have the ladies in Jos, in Plateau State. Let's just go and have fun. Let's go and enjoy. And what?
Hostels, let's
of course, now definitely you cannot enter Jos and I will not host you. How?
All right, so Lagos State and their slackline workers, Jean Roos, Rosie or Rosie, working on these and CMS. Everybody was like, I even thought, but he's a slackline expert. But I was shocked to see how he was able to survive. And I think I was hoping for something underneath, just in case. I don't know the kind of risk we take in this Lagos State. Even with a balloon. We work that. They have insurance. I said, I was looking for the balloon underneath, something for you to drop on. There was nothing. I said, Lagos State, they take risk. What did God forbid the guy has job? What would now happen?
Well, it's good. He profiled Lagos State when he opened Lagos State.
It was trending.
Yeah, it was trending. Seriously trending.
I mistakenly thought it was in Nigeria.
Any party this
I thought it was from Edo State. I thought some of those broomsticks people had.
I was teasing for to ask for party.
Our party. Let me see. It's Brown's.
Well, BC's shop tomorrow. That's the party.
Oh, yes. BC's
shop opening tomorrow.
Definitely. And so BC's shop is opening tomorrow, definitely. Yes. And then there's Professor Ibiyemi Mojola. She's going to be 80. But it's going down, They invited us, me and Brown. So
you are going to do, I'm not the birthday girl, but I'm the birthday girl.
So, happy birthday, Ma. God bless you. May we all live long.
Amen.
Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we got the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with The Nation. Ribadu, government winning battle against oil theft and banditry. 31 EXCO members passed confidence vote in Akeredolu. Old ways on display during off-season polls, says Abdulsalami panel. Academic senior lawyers snubbed in Supreme Court justices' nomination. Federal government can't rely on loans to fund 2024 budget, says Minister. Adeleke suspends CJ despite court order. 2023 poll, why INEC experienced internal sabotage. And Sultan hails Makinde for building mosque in Ibadan. Okay, which story?
I have the Adeleke story. So, Governor of Osun State, Governor Ademola Adeleke, suspended the Chief Judge, Justice Oyebola Adepele Ojo. Yes, they are replaced her with the next in rank in the judiciary in Osun, Justice Yinka Afolabi in acting capacity. According to Nation, she had gotten an interim injunction restraining the governor from removing her or terminating her appointment, but the governor's spokesperson says that this is as a resolution of the House of Assembly sitting yesterday that resolved that the executive should be informed of this House resolution that the next in order of seniority to Justice Adekwele Ojo be sworn in immediately to avoid a vacuum, and that she be told to step aside pending investigations of allegations of misconduct, abuse of power, corruption, and disregard for the rule of law that was, petitioned to the House against her. And so the governor acted in that capacity. I don't know whether this abuse of court process by the governor is... but I know that there are certain house-style laws within the Constitution that prevents the court from intervening in any of this kind of thing. I don't know if it applies to the judiciary, but I know it applies during an impeachment process. I'm trying to see what the law is now. So according to them, the Committee on Judiciary, Public Petitions and Legal Matters have now been directed by the House of Assembly to investigate this petition against Justice Adekwele Ojo and report within 7 days.
Yeah, I have the 2023 poll, why INEC experienced internal sabotage. So the chairman of the Board of Trustees of Center for Transparency Advocacy, Dr. Chima Amadi, has said that the INEC experienced internal sabotage during the last general elections because some partisan Nigerians were appointed as resident electoral commissioners. He said that the appointments were made in apparent violation of the provisions of the law and in spite of protestations by many stakeholders over these partisans, in spite of their partisan past. So they said some of the recs that were appointed, we had a former governorship candidate of a political party, the younger sister of the Southeast National Vice President of a political party, a former civil servant dismissed from service in a state on account of corruption, and manager of a hotel belonging to a politician who served as minister at the time of appointment. It's just saying that there's so many things that happened, in the appointment of these recs that shows that, the law was not paid attention to, a lot of illegal activities. And so that played a part in sabotaging, the general elections. But INEC has said that it's going to prosecute as many as 215 people for various electoral offenses, which they are being commended for. And also give us an example of in 2019, after the 2019 elections, about 300 people also were prosecuted and they got 200 convictions. So this sort of prosecution would allow for, better, strengthening our democracy and better and a stronger INEC going forward.
Okay, so let me talk about the NJC. That's the National Judicial Council. The Federal Judicial Services nominated 11 justices for the Court of Appeal and to be elevated to the Supreme Court. So we have nominees. Actually, what happened was that the CJN, Lukayode Ariola, had asked the NBA to nominate certain people for the position to be in the Supreme Court. The NBA did forward names from academics, senior lawyers like Olisa Gbakogwa and so many others. Unfortunately, none of them were picked. Ariola had selected for himself, but according to the report chaired by Justice Ariola, has jettisoned the bar's nominations by choosing from among the appeal court justices. So the list contains 6 nominees from Southeast and North Central, 4 from Northwest, and 2 each from Southwest and South and Northeast. Of the 22 justices, 11 are placed in the priority category, and the others are reserves. So we're not sure why he jettisoned the list from NBA and other senior academics. But
before any speculation, it will be nice for him to explain what happened. I want to take the case. The Court of Appeal has declared that the elections in Zamfara was inconclusive rather, and this is after the tribunal had reaffirmed the election of the PDP Zamfara. The INEC declared, actually presented return ticket to the PDP candidate Dauda Lawal as the winner for the Zamfara elections. But after the tribunal, the APC went to appeal the result, and now the appeal court has said that the Zamfara election was inconclusive based on some local government, the Maradon local government area, Birin Magaji, and Bukuyun local government area. And the judge said that the INEC used IREV results, that INEC wasn't meant to use IREV results for collation, it's not part of the collation system, and that the forms and what the IREV is just for public viewing to affirm the result and not for collation purposes, and that the evidence showed that the votes were not fully counted and the result was not properly endorsed. So the result that they collated is not legal according to the appeal court. I'm sure that the governor is going to be going to this, I don't know, where else he can go, Supreme Court, to find justice. But right now they've declared that there should be re-election in the few local governments where they felt that some elections didn't take place.
The Punch, be patient, inherited crisis won't disappear overnight, says Ribadu. Guinea-Bissau at 50, Tinubu pledges support for West Africa's democracy. 80-year-old woman dies in Lagos building collapse. Osun Assembly suspends Chief Judge Adeleke appoints replacement. PSC NPF considers 65 years as police retirement age. Forex, FG blames low export earnings, plans diversification. Banks USSD debt to telcos hits 200 billion naira. And Senate summons service chiefs demands security rejigging. Okay, which story?
So Senate on Thursday summoned service chiefs over the unremitting insecurity in the country. At plenary, they said it would engage the service chiefs in a closed session because of security reasons anyway. The lawmakers demanded that the National Security Policy document outlining the framework for an improved and streamlined synergy and coordination among various security agencies be presented to them. The motion was moved by Abdulaziz Yaradua, and he decried the situation. He said Nigeria is facing numerous simultaneous security crises. This includes Boko Haram in the northeast, the activities of bandits and kidnappers in the south, in the northwest, the activities of gunmen and kidnappers in the southeast and south-south, and other forms of criminality like armed robbery, herders and farmer clashes across the country. He said the primary focus of security agencies is to make Nigeria safe. And you know, I would love to hear the NSA on this, and not on economy.
Okay, I have this human interest story about the 80-year-old woman that died after a collapse staircase or stairway in an old building. It collapsed on her and she died. They said this happened about 8:45 a.m. From the report, it said that the collapse may have happened about 7:30 a.m. And then the LASEMA, they got there about 8:42. They were called about 8:30, and they were there about 8:42. Unfortunately, she died, but there were no further injuries. Of course, you know, it will bring up questions like how come there are people in that building. So the Lagos State Building Agency had gone there, they said 4 months prior, and they had actually you know, sealed the building and stamped it for demolition. They had asked everyone to leave that building, but people were still in there. And unfortunately, this has happened. And there's so many other buildings like that that looks like people are still staying in them even after they've been told to vacate those buildings.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
It's not just where, but who wouldn't you want to work with?
Yes, that's on that angle.
So Leifa had a very, very interesting.
You wouldn't want to work with who? Not
There's no judgment.
No, and I
Oh,
respect,
they'll judge you
I
definitely,
respect
but we won't
this
judge
certain type of people. But what I dislike so much is when they tend to come to work and then they pour all their
Resentment from
on
whom?
you.
Still reviewing Punch. Yes.
So I have the story. The federal government can't rely on loans to fund the 2024 budget. That's from the minister. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, had submitted yesterday. He was presenting, he was defending rather the medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper in Abuja to the joint Senate committee scrutinizing the 2020, that particular MTF and FSP. And while he was doing defending it, he said that Nigeria cannot afford to fund 2024 budget with debt. That to combat inflation, developed countries have increased their interest rate, and a developing country having to fund its budget based on debt would cause issues. That the goal must be to borrow money, to use debt to finance revenue-generating infrastructure. So when you use debt to finance revenue-generating infrastructure, the infrastructure can then finance the economy. He said that there will be need for, his first statement was that there is necessary sacrifices need to be made to generate enough revenue for this economy. And he was saying this when he was also at that defense was FIRS executive chairman, the DG of the debt management office, and it was all to defend why there's need to make a lot of readjustments. They also said that there will be need to sacrifice immediate goal for compacting the economy, and that borrowing, currently with our current borrowing profile, adding more debt is going to be pushing Nigeria into where we don't want to be. But I didn't see, I don't know, it's as if we have different government, because the action of some people does not reflect the fact that there is need for financial prudence in our economy.
So our president participated in the commemoration of Guinea-Bissau's 50th independence anniversary and Armed Forces Day on Thursday. The president, alongside other heads of state and government, joined the festivities in Guinea-Bissau. Tinubu was warmly received by Guinea-Bissau's president, Umaru Embalo, and he said specifically that he would ensure, he's committed to supporting peace and democracy, not only in Guinea-Bissau, but the rest of West Africa and the world. He is expected to return to Abuja. I think he returned yesterday already from his one-week engagement in Saudi Arabia and Guinea-Bissau. Okay. Let's move on now to Daily Sun. FG making progress in fight against insecurity, says Ribadu. Ex-CBN Governor Emefiele for arraignment amid AFCC plans to rearrest. Economic growth hinges on improved public-private infrastructure partnerships, says Shatima. Ojuku's title, Kemba Nnewi, not for sale. IPOB wants Anambra Monarchs. Tension in Kano as appeal court delivers judgment today. Obi picks holes in federal government's bankruptcy claim, says government spending behavior contradicts claim. And 22 justices nominated for Supreme Court seats. Okay, which story?
Okay, so I have the Ojuku's title, Kemba Nnewi. IPOB, that's Indigenous People of Biafra, started warning traditional ruler of Nnewi in Anambra State, his son, other cabinet chief members, and sons of Anambra that they are against selling the Ikemba Nnewi title that belonged to the late Dean Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu. They said that they have heard that they have concluded some plans. The son of the Igwe Nnewi has concluded some plan with some of the cabinet members of the palace to bestow this title on a political money bag who has a governorship ambition within the state. They said they have also informed that money bag of the plans they've been informed that the money bag has plans to use the Ikemba Nnewi title to secure his ambition in upcoming elections after the first term of Governor Soludo. And they said that they are using this opportunity to warn him that what Ikemba Nnewi, the Odumegwu Ojukwu, did is not something that can never be replicated by any sons of Igbo land anywhere in the world. And so his title is something that only him alone should enjoy. The title belongs to the late Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu and to him alone. Okay. You know, I sort of, because of traditional understanding, that some of these exclusive titles are usually rotated to the strongest man. So are you saying that after Ojukwu, there's never been or there would never be?
There might be another person, but the person.
Well, right now they don't have.
So they warned him. They said that
which is valid.
The traditional kings have become hungry and they're always selling.
All right. Another story. Let me take him. Go ahead.
Major headline: federal government is making progress in fight against insecurity. Came from the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribaru, and he was speaking at the 18th annual All Nigerian Editors Conference in Uyo. He said the fact that that this present administration inherited a major tough period. Like Nigeria is going through a tough period because of the inherited insecurity situation, and appeals that the citizens be patient. He said that he knows that Nigerians are going through a tough time. I'm quoting him that we are not condemning anyone, but that is the truth. Nigeria is going through a tough time, and those who are in charge must say the truth and say it as it is. It is not going to be for long, though. It's in a matter of time, things will get better. He assured, he's assured that the president is going to do everything within his power to tackle the insecurity challenges, and he said that the president has given his word and that they are doing their own part in supporting the president. And he said that he's been by the side of the president and seen how tough what the inherited is, but that is appealing for support from the media, that it will require everyone for this tough times to be overcome. He also spoke about the militancy in the Niger Delta and that has reduced drastically based on conversations with them. And he said that crude oil production had improved from 1.1 to 1.7 just within when the president came into power. And there are talks been going on with other areas that there's improvements, but we should just be patient and understand that we are going through a tough time for a short while. Okay,
let me take the story from Emefiele. The former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, will today be arraigned before the High Court at the FCT, but amid fears that he might be rearrested by the EFCC. Emefiele regained his freedom back in November 8th after almost 5 months in detention over corruption allegations. Today, once he appears in court, there are speculations that he might be rearrested because some of the competent sources within EFCC said that he will return to custody if he appears in court today. All right, let's move on quickly now to Vanguard. Editors confirm why kidnapping has replaced armed robbery, says NSA. FGSC okays 22 justices for elevation to Supreme Court. Editors confirm fireworks as stakeholders interrogate national security threats to elections media reforms. Appeal courts declares Zamfara governorship elections inconclusive. Looted funds, we have seized 45 billion naira identified terrorist financiers, says federal government. And wives battered 340 husbands to pulp in 1 year, says Lagos State government.
Should I take that?
Yes,
so
please.
Lagos State government said it has recorded no fewer than 340 cases of wives beating their husbands to submission. Wow. And this is in the last 1 year. So this is a period between September 2022 and July 2023. We have the Executive Secretary, Lagos Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, Mrs. Titi Lola Vivo Adeni. She says that this has become like a trend. You know, it's something they're noticing that's becoming quite popular, and that they're working on it, you know, to curb this trend. Said it's quite worrying, but they're currently handling the cases with the aim to find amicable solutions to the issues. Also, the Lagos State government, through a joint task force, will be implementing the executive order on safeguarding and childhood protection. And so they'll be going to 6 education districts within the state. So this monitoring or exercise that is happening is like spot assessment to make sure that schools are providing safe environments for children to study in.
Moving on quickly now to the Nigerian Tribune. Let's find a story of not taking 322 bodies not discovered in grave site in Anambra, says Truth Commission. It's a Truth Commission.
Yeah.
60-year-old retired banker makes first class, wins 8 awards at UI convocation. 80-year-old woman dies in Lagos building collapse. Osun governor suspends CJ, appoints Afolabi to act. Splinter group emerges in Edo PDP. And why we are against borrowing to finance 2024 budget, says Finance Minister. Which story?
The Truth Commission. So in Anambra, there's a Truth, Justice and Peace Commission, and there's just a commission that is looking into some of the illegalities that's happened with like illegal debts and things like that happened within the state. So there's this story that's been making the rounds where they're claiming that 322 bodies were found at a particular grave site. So Bianca Ojukwu, who is the secretary to that commission, is saying that it is misrepresented, that there are 322 bodies or deaths that have happened or people that have been killed, you know, that were discovered during the course of this commission. But the number of people in the gravesite that they have found cannot be ascertained yet, as forensic investigation is still ongoing. So to put that whole number to the gravesite is being disingenuous. So that's what she's saying.
So we have a few good story. A 60-year-old retired banker, Farouk Sani, my best graduating student of sociology.
Went back to school?
Yes, at the University of Ibadan with first-class honors.
Interesting.
He had studied accounting in Ife. He said this was forced on him by his parents. So he had
the accounting was forced on him.
Yes, by his parents. So when he was done, he read that for them. And so when he retired from banking, he thought, okay, this is a good time to do what I would love. So he went back to school to read sociology, and he was in school with 2 of his kids. He would take them to school, drop them off, and then go to pick them up from lecture halls. And also in his own department, lecturers were attesting to the fact that he had a special chair where he used to sit, comes to class. He said he also liked the fact that some of his classmates called him daddy. And some just say Mr. Sani, but
the children dare not misbehave in that school because daddy is right there.
All right, final paper, The Guardian. Let's just see how sachet alcoholic drinks breed alcoholism and thwart national development. It's an interesting story to read, I'm sure. 2 commissioners abstain as Ondo ESCO passes vote of confidence on Akeredolu. And service shutdown imminent as USSD debts hit 200 billion naira. You have a story?
Yeah, I had that story. The chairman of the Association of Licensed Telecommunication Operators of Nigeria said that there's been a slow negotiations between telcos and the banks, and that the debt has continued to rise, and there will be no negotiation that would mean the debt to be forgiven. It won't be. That it will also affect the quality of service that will be delivered. The USSD is unstructured, let me quote it right, but we all know unstructured supplementary service data services. And these, between banks and telcos, the tune of debt has risen to 200 billion. And the telcos are saying, 200 billion naira, we're not going to forgive the debts. Negotiations slow would mean services are slow because the impact of this money is not being available is impacting our business.
This has been ongoing through the year. I've taken many of these stories. And it seems like
they've been hoping that they will negotiate and maybe they will say wipe off the no.
Okay, let's go on a quick break now. When we come back, we'll move on to our next segment. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Come closer. A little bit more. Perfect. I have exciting news for you. You asked for it and you got it. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review and more conversations on the hot topics. The ladies of Your View and I will be stirring up our guests to get in-depth into all the various topics, and you, our viewers, will have the opportunity to call in and share your views. After all, it's your view. Join us on Your View, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a fantastic conversation. Don't miss it.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7. Ikechukwu, Sunday, Okonkwo, aka Cross. Now your intro without
Wow.
So there's a name that thing that's.
I'm just drinking because you said I should drink. There's no particular answer.
You think it's only that can be wicked?
What's the answer?
Subterfuge.
Eh?
Yeah. They claim you did, but you said it just happened. That
And it's called what again?
subterfuge.
Such a fuge.
SUBTERFUGE.
So you look me finish from head to toe. You look at a person who go know what to become such. Yeah?
The nude wasn't like a game plan. Or...
I promise you, it was actually a mistake. Like it was sending it to someone, and it just mistakenly just.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of
Welcome back. So World Prematurity Day on 17th of November is one of the most important days in the year to raise awareness of the challenges and burden of preterm birth globally. Besides the color purple, which stands for sensitivity and exceptionality, the socks line has become a symbol for World Prematurity Day. A small pair of purple socks, framed by 9 full-size baby socks, symbolizes that 1 in 10 babies are born preterm. Joining us right now is Dr. Fumi Oluwabi, a consultant pediatrician from the General Hospital Ifakojayi, Lagos, here to speak with us about the World Prematurity Day. Welcome to the show, madam.
Thank you very much.
I didn't even know there was anything like World Prematurity Day. I mean, it's really interesting to know that they set aside a day for awareness for this. Could you tell us exactly, for those who don't even know about it, tell us what is World Prematurity Day and why is it important for us to have this day to remember us about it?
Okay, so the World Prematurity Day is a day set aside globally. So this is happening all over the world. It's a day set aside globally for us to celebrate, to draw awareness, to let people know about the preterm babies. And you know, children are usually the most vulnerable group of the population. But the preterm baby is actually the most vulnerable of this vulnerable group. They are the smallest, and they need attention. Before now, we submerge them somehow under the child called children. So you don't really delineate. But once we started to delineate and draw awareness to the preterm baby, then we know that, oh, these people actually deserve a mention.
What qualifies a preterm baby? What's the...
So a preterm baby is a baby that is born before 37 completed weeks of gestation. You know, if we go for a scan for a pregnant woman, the layman will write in months. Yeah. But for us in medicine, we write in weeks because each day is important. So pregnancy is 0 to 37 weeks. Any baby born after 37 weeks is fine. We call that baby a full-term baby. But a baby born before 37 completed weeks is referred to as a preterm baby.
So in Nigeria, would you say this is something that is quite common or is it rare?
Oh, in fact, globally, we have about 13 to 15 million babies born preterm every year. So 1 in 10 babies is actually delivered preterm. Now the incidence in Nigeria varies. For us, in some hospitals, it's 1 in 4. It's that common.
Wow.
It's anything between 1 in 4 and 1 in 10. 1 in 10 is the global, but in Nigeria, it's about between 1 in 4 and 1 in 10 babies born in each hospital comes out preterm.
Well, what would you say causes that? What are the factors that makes it so common in Nigeria?
Okay, so there are various factors that could cause it. Some are from the mother, in which case maybe the mother is ill, a woman with hypertension that's uncontrolled, what you call preeclampsia. Some who were previously hypertensive gets pregnant and then the blood pressure just shoots up and it becomes a danger to the mother. You have to deliver that baby. Let the baby take its chance outside. Okay. Others who become diabetic, gestational diabetes, and mothers with other form of chronic illness. Now, a mother whose womb also has an abnormality. Some uteruses are actually small or they have some defects. They can't carry a baby to term. So they are allowed to get pregnant, but you deliver those babies earlier. And then babies come with their own problem. Babies with other forms of anomalies, we have to deliver early. A woman who ruptures her membrane, she starts to see water. We don't know why it happens. Sometimes it just happens. Once you start seeing water, that uterus is no longer healthy for the baby. So we'll let the baby come out and we'll do what we can for the baby. So those are some of the things. Of course, when you also have stressors, stress has been known to be a causative factor. And you know there are so many things stressing Nigerians these days.
So that again.
It could just be stress. And sometimes it's unexplained. It just happens. But a woman who has had a preterm baby before is likely to have another preterm baby. So we keep a close eye on such women.
So, for me, when I think about when my kids were about 7 years old, I had twins, and I was already being told that usually they will come preterm. In my mind, I feel like it was prayer and all of that that prevented that from happening. But I took a 7-year-old child to the hospital, and there was a premature baby that was being rushed into Lasso General Hospital, and because there was no incubator available to accommodate the baby, and reading up on what you advise is the warmth skin to skin. And my thought was the incubator was essential. So where is the place for incubator and where is the place for skin to skin, and which is most important to ensure the child remains viable?
The incubators are very expensive. Very, very expensive. And it's not just to have it, you also have to obtain it. Now, a lot of facilities don't have. Now, what has happened over time, and this is something very gratifying, it was good for us to know that, is the fact that you can actually do skin to skin for these babies. Now, various studies have actually shown us that that helps a lot. And in Ife, there was a IKMC, what we call Immediate Kangaroo Mother Care study in Ife. It was actually carried out, I think, about 5 African countries. And what they did was put some people in the study group. So a baby comes out preterm, and these babies are those who weigh between 1 kg and 1.8 kg.
Wow.
So even the very small ones, 1 kg, 1.8 kg. So they were randomized. Some to do KMC. So they put on their mother's chest immediately. Some of them need CPAP, they need support with oxygen. Yes, put them together. And then the other group, no KMC, put them in the incubator, which is what we call the standard care. And then these studies went across all these countries. And in fact, let me tell you, the study was stopped earlier than the scheduled date. Why? Because the benefits were well demonstrated. They had less infection. They died, the number of those who died in the study group were less compared to those who died in the control group. And they did so much better that it was well demonstrated, and they had to say, okay, we have seen what we want, let's stop this study. So now we know we do not necessarily need the incubator. Yes, the mothers can do this work. And remember, it's not just, it doesn't have to be the mother. Maybe the mother just had CS or something. It could be the father. It could be any other relative. In fact, some grandmas are so happy. Oh, I was the first person to carry you. You know, it's bragging rights for them. So we just need a human, that's skin-to-skin contact.
Wow.
You can maintain your temperature. The small baby cannot maintain their temperature. So if you put them skin-to-skin, your own temperature will regulate their temperature.
Okay.
And this was someone who was in the womb, knew the heart rate of the mother. So they are used to that setting.
Yes.
And then they come out, we separate them. Now you bring them together, and they're like, oh, this is familiar.
Yeah.
This is something I'm used to. This is comfort.
Yeah.
You find the heart rate coming, slowing down.
Right.
The respiration, because preterm babies have what we call apnea of prematurity. They just stop breathing. But the mother's respiration is there, tapping the baby and saying, breathe, breathe. So they actually do so much better. And of course, remember the emotional bond for the mother. She's also happier. Like when you separate, I've seen mothers who will come into our SCBU, and when she comes, she's like, is that my baby?
Yeah.
I can't touch. They're just detached. So, but now you are there, you are a part of the care, because that's what we say. The mothers are also a part of the care, family-centered care.
Let's get a few more questions for you.
Some people will still disagree because, these are usually very fragile babies. They're very small. I've had one at 24 weeks, so tiny, and I could just into my palm. Like that. So how would you say they handle the babies depending on size?
So, we don't just start KMC. We have to counsel the woman. They have to agree. But it will surprise you that a lot of them actually would agree. Of course, I said the study was between 1 kg and 1.8 kg. Yeah. 24-weeker will probably be about 500, 600 grams. That is the next stage of the study. Can we do it for the smallest of them? But 28 weeks is 1 kg. So anybody above 28 weeks, at least for now, we can stand and say, yes, it can work. And it does work.
I was going to say, what's the theme for this year? I mean,
yes, the theme for the year is small actions, big impact. Immediate care for every baby. Immediate skin-to-skin care for every baby. And, when we see a preterm baby, we think, oh, it's such a big issue. It's cost intensive and all that. But there are small things that we can do that will make a difference. This KMC doesn't cost us anything now. It doesn't. I've seen fathers do KMC. So it's a small action, but it makes a very big difference in determining the outcome for that baby. The other small action that we want to emphasize is breastfeeding. It's breast milk for the baby. And for a baby in KMC, in fact, if you've been at a delivery, now we deliver babies onto the mother's abdomen. On their own, while you are even still busy delivering the placenta, they start searching. You see them crawling. Yes, very beautiful. You can check on YouTube. They will crawl because they can smell the milk.
Oh my God.
And then they latch on. And you are probably still doing something. Then you start hearing, so cute.
Imagine that.
Yeah, so the preterm babies too, they will smell the milk. Emotionally, the mother is you know, in the mood, yes. So the milk will flow. And the baby in KMC, you don't even have to separate from the mother. You're just losing your wrapper. Hold your baby like this. He sucks. Goes back. You want to do cup feeding? Yes.
I was going to ask
you want to do cup feeding? They can latch on, but you know there's an age.
Yeah.
But there's what we call non-nutritive sucking. It's just let them get used to the feel of the breast. It helps the mother, it helps the baby. So feeding is very important. The third small action is hand washing. Hygiene.
Important one.
We don't think about it. But if you enter any neonatal ward, wash your hands outside, wash your hands inside, wash your hands between babies. It makes the difference between a child who is going to get septic and die or survive. So even when we are discharging them home, you teach them how to wash your hands. Who is going to help you care for this baby at home? Bring the person. Teach the person. This hand washing is very small, it's very simple, but it makes a major difference in what happens, the outcome of the baby.
Something I thought you skipped, one of the stressors that led to preterm birth, that is common here.
Multiple
duties. One of those things that will compel women to do. The pregnant woman is called lazy. She cannot do
agile and everything.
There's no price for such things.
Thank you.
There's no price for it.
There's no price.
There's no price for it. That's the truth. That the woman, she's pregnant. She's doing a lot of work. The metabolism has changed. Yes, you don't have to add more.
There are lots of myths around having a preterm baby. You know, there are stories around they are not going to be normal. They're going to be slow, or they might have deformities. And some parents, some people label preterm babies like this one was not
maturity.
I don't know how to say it in English. Like
it's not mature.
Yes,
it's not right.
Not right.
Maturity is weak. So how would you like us to better deal with such situations? What are the languages to use, and what's the impact?
You know that these babies were small when they came out, but their organs are fully formed. They are fully formed. Between 28 and 37 weeks, what babies are just doing is to grow bigger. All the organs are formed to mature and grow bigger. Now, they can do what every other person can do. They come out small. Okay, let me give you a typical example. I had a set of twins. One was 1 kg, the other one was 2.3 kg. On a day like this, after we have discharged them, when they came back, they were now like about 9 months. You couldn't even say who was 1, who was 2.3. So they catch up, and they catch up very fast. If you lay a very good foundation for them, a lot of them don't have any deficits.
I have to let you go because I have to wrap up. But lots of people saying that, what would you rather them go for, general hospital or private hospital? Many people are always confused. They're not sure where to get the right care. When you're in this situation, where is most equipped for us to help in this kind of situation of a preterm baby?
That when you go for antenatal care, nobody plans to have a preterm baby, but it can happen. You should know the ability of the hospital that you are using. What we say is, if a preterm birth is unavoidable, then move that baby in utero. If you cannot take care of that baby, if that hospital cannot take care of a preterm baby, then don't deliver. Move the baby with the mother in the womb. That gives them the best chance wherever they're going to. And move to a place where the baby can be delivered, the mother can have her own part, and the baby will have his own part. A lot of our general hospitals are doing very well. In fact, the MCCs, fantastic, a lot of them. We had an audit about some 3 days ago as part of this celebration, and the figures were fantastic. So the Lagos State government is doing quite a lot in terms of the public hospitals. We also have a lot of private hospitals, and thank God for health insurance. You just need to know what you are covered for and go to the right place. But we don't want people delivering a 1 kg baby when you know you don't have the facility to take care of that baby, and then you start moving the baby from one hospital to another. If at all you have to do that, please put that baby in KMC and move. Because when you just carry them like this, you think you have wrapped them. They get to the last facility, they are cold. I had a baby in my facility. I didn't have space, and I had to refer. Of course, the mother was still ill. I called a sister hospital, and I said, I need to move this baby. The ambulance had gone for something else. Daddy, this is your baby. He's 1.1 kg. We don't have space. I've called our sister hospital. They said, come. Do you mind putting your baby on your chest and transferring this baby?
So that would involve unbuttoning your shirt.
So you remove the shirt gladly, put on his baby with just a diaper and a cap and socks on. And we tied the wrapper. And we put on his shirt. And he entered the ambulance. Or his car, I can't remember which. And he moved. And he got to that hospital. Baby survived. But when you bring them in, temperature is subnormal. You have compromised them so much already. So we just, even if that's the only message here, deliver in a facility where baby can be cared for. If you can't, and the baby is delivered, please put skin to skin and transfer to the referral hospital.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fumi, for coming today. I really appreciate your knowledge. It's good to have doctors like this. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's all we can take on this conversation. When we come back, we want our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7. Ladies and gentlemen, please help welcome to the show, La General, the one and only Pere Egbe. Which of the following is false about teeth? We are born with 20 primary teeth. Teeth are the hardest substance in the body. Teeth are the strongest bones in the body.
Teeth is not a bone, actually.
Teeth can self-repair.
The strongest bone in the body, no. Teeth is not a bone.
Final answer?
Teeth is not a bone. You know what came to my head now? That sound. Crickets.
So, editor, you can put that cricket sound there. You can still put it down too.
When was the first Gulda Ultimate Search? Editor?
Don't put any cricket sound. I'm talking. Okay, Pere. How many times has Ghana qualified for the World Cup?
5 times. Hey, you can't do that now.
That's what it is.
Wait. Calm down. Why are you like this?
This is your team.
Small play now.
They will not
Somebody cannot play with you again.
They will not be impressed though. The team that you're supporting. And
Ghana will be all right.
Yeah, that's last.
Charlie? Cheers, Charlie.
Thanks for staying with us. This Sunday, November 19th, is International Men's Day. And we would like to focus on the plight of men, especially those living in Nigeria. According to the Nigerian career coach, Olabode Ifeanyi, He said it's unfair how Nigerians treat effeminate men who especially do not have money. What are your thoughts on this? There's so many angles to discuss. We're going to amplify and broaden this conversation. But we'd like to join the conversation. Call us on 081 076 41679, 0902 4163440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. We're celebrating World Men's Day on Sunday, November 19th. And we're going to use the opportunity to discuss various things. Number one, what do men want? Number two, what kind of pressure does society put on men? Men who are feminist, as Mr. Ifeanyi has said, why do we somewhat discriminate them? I think Mikel Obi recently also talking about the kind of pressure that he undergoes because he's wealthy and successful. So as a man, when you have money, the whole family expects you to raise your siblings, to take care. There's a responsibility that's thrown on you, either you like it or not. So these are lots of things men go through, and it's a conversation that we need to have. And please join us. I would like to hear from our viewers. But let's start with the ladies. Toko, you want to jump in?
Yeah. There's a song by this Nigerian artist that lives in Canada. His name is Dax. And he has a song, To Be a Man, and he brought it back, posted it like 2 days ago. I sent it to my husband. I sent it to a few of my friends that listen to the words, because I know that I have a responsibility to raise 3 men, currently boys to be men. And we don't talk enough about the emotional stress men go through. We don't prepare them to deal with this. And one of the things he said in the song is, he said, as a man, you've got to pave your way. Your only function is to work and slave. There is no respect for you if you don't get paid. You are disregarded as a human and you can't complain. If you ever make it up and actually reach the place and find a woman that loves you and give her your last name, you feel that things are provided. You have to provide all the things so that she stays. And that is the reality of many men. You're defined by your ability to pay the bills. You are defined by your ability to be responsible. You are defined by your ability to be strong. You are defined by your ability not to break down. You are defined by your ability to sustain to keep your woman. How can your woman live if she leaves? You are getting beaten by the woman, you cannot complain. Life happens. The burden is huge, and I think that we need to create safe space for men to express their emotions. And for the ones that are adults right now, they don't even have the structure to do so. So we need to solicit and encourage it. And then we're raising our children to be able to express themselves so that at least as they get older, like Adekunle Gold said, there are more grandmas than grandpas. We'll
come to that in a minute. Let me come to you, Mariam. Sometimes you say, is Nigeria unfair to men that don't have money? You think about these things. There's so much pressure. So a man who doesn't have money, who hasn't loan, feels inadequate. He feels that he hasn't achieved anything. Yeah. What are your thoughts on this?
Which is so true. There's no need to beat about the bush. It is true that a man who is financially more, empowered, can get away with a lot of things. Nearly everything falls at his feet. But no matter how brilliant a man is, if financially he's not there, or he does not meet some of society's standard for wealth, somehow there's some sort of disrespect. He needs to prove himself a bit more than someone who has money. And now, to be honest, the conversations that I hear young girls having, at first I thought it was a Nigerian thing. I was watching this podcast by, girls in the UK. These are black girls, and it's still the same conversation. I can't be with a man that doesn't have money. I can't be with a man that is not financially successful. Yeah. And, there are some men who are saying, well, but I'm a good guy. I just haven't gotten the money yet. Or I'm a good guy, but I'm not looking to be the richest person in the world. I just want this and I just want this. Or you hear women say, I was with this man, but when I realized that he was not financially ambitious, so there is pressure. And I do not want to use this opportunity, this particular discussion to make it look like I'm excusing bad behavior. But a lot of it can be said to be the reason why we find a lot of men in all sorts of criminal activities, the Yahoo boys, the kidnappings. I remember, there was a time when, because of a particular culture here in Nigeria, where you're expected to bring like a very large bride price and things like that. We've heard people who have been caught doing armed robbery and all sorts. They'll say it's because they had to put money together for their wedding. So there is, honestly, as an African man, a Nigerian man, there's that pressure for you to be financially stable or financially,
Yeah, let me come to Nima. Your thoughts on this, like how Nigerian men.
Mine is going left, right, and because we seem to have seen why and why not, and too many scatter reasons happening. Yes, Nigerian men are largely burdened, but they're not just burdened by the women's or family demands. They are burdened by men, their mates, who also say, the family demanded a head, and I gave it to them to marry my wife. So you start finding head, Men don't support. Competition. Yes, they create that standard of competition that other men aspire to. And before you know it, it became what society demanded. I know that till tomorrow, my bride price traditionally for my family is 250 naira. Till tomorrow, it has not changed. We're trying to upgrade it. So yes, it's still that amount. We are practically married almost for free. But I know that my grandfather married some of the royals because we were not royals and he had money. So I will use money because it was a standard. And that's how society continues to pressure men by men. Really, not just women. Women will take it as a pride thing that he brought heads to marry me. But what exactly did he prove for her? Because when she gets there, she'll face what women face.
The money doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference, but it's just the ariwo of the wedding. Did you see all the bowls of dry fish, bogan fish, all the things they used to?
Anyway, as I said, so we are focusing on world men.
No, we're focusing on men
today.
But because I've heard, I don't want the men to just jump and say, you women.
So I have a caller right now, but we're going to unpack. This is a very, very intense conversation. Let me take this caller. Good morning. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, that's Edward Ezekiel on the line.
Good morning, Edward. You're live. Go ahead.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
All right, so I appreciate you people. I've been watching your view for almost as much as you have been on air.
Wow, thank you.
I can tell you that I had your pictures once in a while. I go and snap you on TV. So that's much. But now I can contribute about men. Now, I want to say categorically, without fear of any being considered too outspoken, that men are the most marginalized persons on earth, especially in Africa. We are seriously marginalized. And you know what? The worst part of it is that even men help to instill this marginalization more. Because everything, even if you are driving a car, you have an altercation on the road. They say it's a woman. They won't know that that's a driver. And someone that can destroy you if he's not driving well. First thing is a woman. We keep excluding women. Now there are also even conversations that go to the extent of saying that men are the ones that are victims of rape. Now there are men that are also victims of rape. Because sometimes their wives overuse them, or they get overused by older women. So men are actually being marginalized, and men need to wake up and start being real to these issues, and stop being too petting issues on this matter. So that is about that. The other one is the Men's Day. I expect that at least a man should be inside that studio. If I'm brought in there, I will have
You're doing a good job.
Thank you, Edward, for joining us anyway. So it's a women's show, but we're talking about men today. And I think the question I'd like to ask is, what exactly do men want? And I'd like to get our callers. I would like to hear from Nigerians. Nigerian men, call us today. 08107641679, 0902416340. Tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read it. Today's show is for you. Yes. What exactly do you want?
What is your ideal?
What's from wife?
Yeah.
From parents? From siblings? From your friends, colleagues? What exactly? From society? What would you like? I like what Edward said. men are most marginalized. So we've noted that down. Do you feel marginalized? Okay, what makes you feel marginalized? Because we think we live in a patriarchy. But you're saying you're marginalized. Is it because, oh, a woman is driving a car and because she hits you, the woman, let her go? I need to understand what marginalization is. We'll discuss that. But I'd like to hear, like, men call us today. What exactly do you want?
So I wanted to conclude earlier that maybe we should just redefine this masculinity thing.
Yes.
Because the standard of masculinity is an expectation women have of other men meeting up men like them. Okay. If it wasn't a standard one man had set, I don't think
man said, is it God?
Hey, no, Adam. The one that has plenty money.
Abraham.
Because the one that gets
the whole thing is around materialism.
Yes.
The whole idea of it. You have more money, you can do. If you do bad, you have money to buy out. So the Yahoo boys, what are they looking for?
Respect.
Who started the standards? How did we get here? Why is it about money and materialism? Maybe we should redefine this masculinity thing and remove the materialism, and then we have a clearer picture.
Wait, hold on. Kenneth has been calling. Good morning, Kenneth. You're live. Kenneth, go ahead.
Ladies in the house.
Yes.
I just want to, this is my first time of course the program.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I always watch you guys from the UK anyway. I'm around in Nigeria this couple of weeks. So let me contribute quickly to what the subject matter is all about, which is International Men's Day. To be fair, if you look at it, Nigeria as a country has misdefined the role of men in our society. And if you look at the biblical view, man, God created man, and a woman is in a man. And if you look at it, if you don't treat the man well, if you don't bring up the man child properly and provide a necessary help or support for that boy or a baby boy, who later turns to a young man, and from the young man to an adult.
Mr. Kenneth, I'd like you to answer the question I raised earlier. What exactly does a man want?
A man wants, it depends on from a childhood to adulthood. A man who is responsible, who is educated, his needs is different from a man who is not educated. But in general, in Nigerian spectrum, you look at it, every man wants money. Every man wants home. Money. Every man wants a family. Every man wants to have that what we call economical ego. And in a society, in a political.
Okay, thank you very much, Kenneth.
You know what I would like to ask, maybe for the man that will call next, will be, what would you say would be the ideal situation for you in a relationship with a woman? Would you like a woman who can afford things for herself and provide for you? That 50-50 conversation that seems to be the main thing right now. Or would you prefer to be the dawn of the house? You take care of all financial needs and she's at home nurturing your kids. Yeah. What's most ideal for a Nigerian man? I would like to know.
So Nima said something, and I feel like it's really important that we don't push it aside. Yes, because in recent time I have someone that she wants to get married, and her father for over 1 year has been like checking on the husband. What is in your bank account? How much is your salary? Where are you living? All of that. Like over a year, he's gotten a better job. He's rented a better house. Still, marriage has not been approved because the man. I want to be sure you can take care. Yes, he's not a big man. I just feel like it would have been a different. It just feels it would be a different scenario if this man that is proposing drove into the house with this very big car, came in and he was dropping bag of rice, dropping drinks. The response would have been different than when the boy took a bike and came there. And when he actually came to ask for the hand in marriage, it wasn't working, but he assured them that he would get a job, and he got a job. He assured them he would get a better job, he got a better job. He got a house, he has gotten a house. But still, he is not big enough to be the husband to your daughter. Well, so when you say men sometimes are putting men under pressure, this is where
your father is putting a potential son-in-law under pressure. Let's go on a quick look. When we come back, we open our phone line. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So, Have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
It's not just web, but who wouldn't you want to work with?
Yes, that's on that angle.
So Laifa had a very, very interesting...
You wouldn't want to work with who?
There's no judgment.
No, and I
they'll
respect,
judge you
I
definitely,
respect
but we won't
this
judge
certain
you.
type of people. But what I dislike so much is when they tend to come to work and then they pour all their
resentment from
on
home.
you. Is it me that offended you? I'm not the one. I have no business. My just come out with you, pay me at the end of the month, and let me go back to my house in peace and sleep. But when it comes to like divorced people, I cannot work with a divorcee. I can't see myself doing that. If I find out, if you can hide it or not, but if I find out,
When they are nice divorcees.
I would just
What if they are nice?
Okay, now it depends. If you are nice, cool. But if you are the type that you don't know how to keep your anger to yourself, you always pour it on somebody. Well, I'll just drop my resignation letter, no matter the amount you're paying me.
So it's more passive-aggressive people.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'm so sorry.
Oh, definitely.
And I cannot work with stingy people.
See this one.
Because you cannot be passing me in the morning, afternoon. I can say, oh, hi, yeah, I'm working. Oh, yeah, take 100 naira,
It's
take
your
10K,
employer, not your sugar
take
daddy,
15K.
no.
It does, you don't have to be my sugar daddy or sugar mommy. See, the way you treat others is...
Thanks for staying with us. So Sunday is International Men's Day, and we're discussing men today. Just men, okùnrin, man. Today we have Ibrahim. Ibrahim is calling from Malaguado. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning.
You're live.
Yeah, you are asking what do men want in this house?
In volume.
I think that's a general question. What does the society set for men? Looking from the religious angle, from the Bible, from the Quran, a man is expected to take care of the family financially. So men are not given any other option. The society is not giving men any other option. You just have to provide for your family. Most times, 100%. But women are trying nowadays. If they are working, they support the family, but not. All men.
Ibrahim, I think you didn't get that. You see, I understand what the Bible says. You understand what society says. But we're asking you as Ibrahim, what do you want? Can you hear me?
For me, I would like to, support my family, support the wife and the children by providing for them, economically and financially.
That's it.
When is responding to you on Twitter, on X, I am woke activist, says I can't speak for everyone, but I want a reasonable being, common sense being common. I don't want a lot, but understanding, communication. We can balance it when it comes to money and other responsibilities. Islam talks about all of this. The earlier we learn more, the better for our lives to be better and joyful. Thanks to your view, women. I always appreciate you all.
That's interesting, Lima, what you just read, and it's making me think, would men really pursue financial gain as much as they do if they didn't get the pressure of having to provide for the family, provide everything? Like, would a man be more content if he just had a little to go by and he knows that the family is fine? Is this pursuit for success and money really about what the women want or what they think the children want? I would like to hear our men tell us that.
Because it seems like society has put so much pressure on them that you have to have this level.
Yes.
But there's something I want, let me pause you for a second, because something you said earlier, I'd like us to make that a topic in itself. Should we redefine masculinity? I think we need to discuss that. What is masculinity in 2023?
Yeah.
What, let's define a man. Like, so while we're waiting for men to call in, as women, what do we define as a man in 2023? Who do we think? So men are watching. Maybe they don't know. What do you, as these modern women, what is your own definition of a man in 2023? Mariam, let me start.
Yes. You put me on the spot.
Yes, why are you asking questions?
Okay, so, see, I want a man that is confident. I think that for me, a person that is confident, but also kind. For me, that is important. That ego thing, at first I used to say, I would say, if you had asked me this maybe a couple of years before, I would say put the ego aside. But I've also learned, this is from a man's perspective, that as much as we complain about the ego, is the ego that is help the man stand in front of a lion to protect you. So I hope, so I want a man that is able to use his ego positively. I want a masculine man has to be a man that, even though he is confident in himself, he also understands that his partner is a team player, is there with him, they are collaborators.
Let me pause you for a second.
Yes.
Because in the first three things, you didn't mention money. Because some men always assume that all women want is money. You've said three things: confidence, kindness, and positively handling your ego. That's what a woman just told you now, because people always assume it's only money. But let me take this call.
Money is not a bad thing.
We'll come to money. So men always think it's number one. But AB is calling from Malimo. So let's take AB. Thanks for calling. You're live.
All right, good morning.
Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Yes, morning.
Going to your question, what do men want? What do I want? I would say it's basically peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
Yes. From being a child, it's been drilled into our genetics as an African. Let me tell you this story. For example, while I was 7, I got my first knock from an older male who says, "Men don't cry, you're a man." So you can imagine while growing up, I lost my mom barely around 10, and my dad didn't shed a tear. But I saw he could explode at the time. His eyes were all as red as coal, but he never shed a tear. At least I didn't see him shed one. Men don't cry. So everything in the society, from when you were born, as a matter of fact, I'm sorry, I'm guilty. I was talking to my boy this morning, and I said, as a man, you have to be confident, speak up. We indoctrinate a man with what we think or what our tradition thinks a man should be. And while growing up, they have this and they cannot express anything that makes you perceive they are weak. No. For example, a white man wrote once and he said, when a woman is not happy, she either calls her mom, she calls her siblings, she calls her sister, she calls the husband and empties herself. But when the man isn't, who does he call? He sits back, he hears the pain himself, and then he moves on. So you see, everything from the onset till now that we speak tells you that a man is a rock-solid entity that should never show weakness or cracks. I felt ill. I was working for a company for 4 years. I never took off. I never took leave. I felt ill once, and my boss, a female, she said, "AB, I thought you're Superman, so you break down." After 4 years. So that is it. Everything speaks to this. So for me, I think a man wants peace. When I know that everything is peaceful around me, I'm an ideal person, and we are built with pride. When I got married, I told my wife, "You're not going to work until my kids are 10. I will provide." That is what a man is wired to do. So when he's providing all these things and he doesn't have peace, it tends to affect him negatively.
I need you to stay on for a minute.
Yes. What would you describe as peace for you? What would the wife be doing? And then what would you constitute as being lack of peace in your house?
Okay, this is way beyond my house, for example. My house is where I'm king. So to a large extent, you can, if you don't get it, you can behave in such a way that you get it elsewhere. But what I'm talking about is a holistic thing. Peace from the economy,
peace from the entire system. For example, I'm going out and then maybe I have a little accident, a guy bashes my car. Maybe I use a Camry 2000, for example, the one they call Tiny Light, for example, older era. And then this guy bashes me with a Benz. And then he says, who are you? What are you driving? This nonsense. I can pay for it. So you have taken his ego, crushed it, because you think he's not as wealthy as you are, less of a man. That displaces his peace of mind.
Oh,
now it's not in his head. I just upgrade you. I got drive him.
Thank you so much, Abby. Thank you very much. Let me let you go, because the peace of mind he's asking for, aside from the one at home, which is required, what he's saying that society doesn't give him peace of mind. I am a honest man, right? Working for my pay. I have a decent car. I'm taking care of my family. You come to hit me or intimidate me because of your wealth, because of your status, because of your connections. You're not giving me peace. And it sounds to me also like respect. Respect for my dignity. I might not have as much money as you, as a fellow man, but respect me for who I am. I'm also a man in my own right. And I think that's what he just told us.
I also think
that's some deep stuff.
That's some deep stuff, because what I would have expected, first of all, when I asked him is the wife does. She needs to keep quiet. She needs to stop nagging. But it's really peace from co-men outside. So if that man, our point earlier, you know, it's society is what my co-male are doing that makes me feel.
See your mate. So
so the woman needs to also be the one that you don't escalate what has already. Imagine after coming in and then the woman at home makes it even worse.
Just
how you want to.
Just imagine that outside there is a war zone. I'm speaking for the men, that every woman should assume that outside there is coming from a war zone. How would you receive a man that is coming from a war zone? That is what a woman should think, that my husband has just come from a war zone. My darling, just sit down. Let me get you cold water. And I know you are also in a war zone, but giving a man peace.
Putting consideration
that you don't know what he has gone through. And imagine he's coming from the worst kind of scenario possible.
So let's go back to the original question. Is Nigeria unfair to men without money?
It's a fact. Nigeria is unfair to anybody that doesn't have money. It is worse on a man. Nigeria is unfair to any human being. Poverty is a crime in Nigeria. You cannot afford to be poor. You are a criminal. But it is now worse if you are a man and you are poor, or you are a man and you don't have enough money to meet your basic needs. So it is a terrible space to be in. Mentally, it's a terrible space to be in. Among men, a man who is not financially comfortable or financially free is being pressured in church, pressured at home, pressured at work, pressured amongst men, among friends. So it is pressure all around. So
let's go back to what Nima said about the defining masculinity. So the Mariam gave us confident, kind, and managing your ego positively.
So I'll rearrange. Okay. For me, number one will be kindness. I want to marry a man that is
already married,
considerate. Now, I would want to marry a man. I want even not even a marriage, even as a male friend, even as a colleague. Every man should be kind. You should lead with kindness. And I teach it to my kids. I'll give an example, please. So this morning, I gave 3 of them chocolate, the one we got from our farm, and there was plantain chips. Only one of my son eats plantain chips. So he wanted to take the plantain chips in addition to his chocolates, and fight broke out. You cannot have plantain chips on your chocolates. And I said, yes, it's not fair. So they left. But I called back David and said, David, take the plantain chips, go and give your brother, because it is kind for you to know that I know he likes plantain chips. I will give him, even though it will seem like I am not getting anything extra on my chocolates. We must be intentional in teaching boys to be kind, because environment teaches them to be competitive. So they must step out of being that competitive and competing. That's why a man would marry a wonderful woman who is making a whole lot of money and will be uncomfortable to enjoy the support he is getting, because in his mind it emasculates him that his woman is earning more money than him. That's the competition. You are not competing with your wife. You're not competing with your female colleague. It's not a fight. You are kind. You are happy that your wife is making money. It does not rob you of your being masculine. So for me, the first thing I want in any man is be kind. And number 2, support people around you. I cannot stand a man that is uncomfortable with supporting people. Like, I wanted a husband that was going to support my business. It was a key thing. Support me if I say I want to fly. Say, is it
how high?
Yeah, how do you want to go? Is it jet or you want to use plane? Or like, that's the kind of man I believe should be around any woman. You will succeed. The society will be good if all men are kind. If all of them are saying, how can I support you? You want to go, you want to become the MD, let me support you. You want to become a driver, let me support you. Supporting, very, very important.
Pause for a second. That supporting, some men interpret it as it diminishes me somewhat, because when I support you to be such a high flyer, what friends look at me like, this your woman is still here. What are you even doing? Are you the one washing the plates in the kitchen? You know, because you have ambition. So it's not about me not wanting to support you. It's how it looks
outside.
It's outside.
To the core.
It's the men. It's the men. My husband has told me that his friends always say, how do you cope? Like they're asking him,
because you're on TV.
Because I'm on TV, they are seeing me, I'm doing real estate, I'm traveling. They don't, like, seriously, they are wondering, how is my husband comfortable with me alone traveling to the US and to the UK, and I'm traveling? Well, how is he comfortable with me going everywhere? They don't, they can't understand it. So those are part of the problems. That even the men.
Is it an exposure thing?
No.
Because I don't think I have that sort of, that's not something I would deal with, or the sort of people around me will come up. So could it be that the better educated you are, the more exposed you are? Or is it just an innate thing that happens?
Yeah, highly connected to.
Let me get one more.
Yes, okay. Let me say 3. So kindness, support, and my third point, would also sort of mirror what Mariam said, in that I want your ego, but I want your ego to be channeled on a positive, in a positive way. I want you to be confident in yourself, because I think ego feeds your confidence. So ego and confidence work hand in hand. So I don't want to say confidence and then take out the ego. So the ego and confidence, but be positive in how you are channeling it. Be the man of the house. Be the defender of this house. If anything is coming, spiritually you are defended.
Thank you for bringing it to my notice. It means I have to prepare very well for Sunday. Now, come to your topic. What do men want? What I want as an individual. Other people have been calling, dancing around the pool. That was why I said I must find a way to call. What I want is respect.
Respect.
Give me my due respect as a man.
Okay.
Being the breadwinner of the house, I want to be given respect. Then 2, I want to see myself, even if my wife is having money, but I want to see myself playing that God-given role. Say, a man has to fend for his family. If my wife has money more than me, I don't care. But I must do something. It is called that joy of bringing something, fulfilling that aspect that aspect in the word of God, that man should provide for his family, and it's true. It gives me joy to do it, and I don't do it, no rest of mind. That is why I'm happy to call.
Peter, are you still there?
I'm here, fully here.
So what does respect look like to you? What is respect to you?
My sister, there are things that are happening. Respect, I know it is reciprocal, but I was saying that there are some people, no matter what you do for them, they don't even care. When they go haywire, they don't remember. But Bible says, husband, love your wife. The other aspect of it, that be of it. Wife, respect your husband.
Okay. Thank you very much, Peter. Let me let you go. Let me come to Nima.
I need to read. You need to read
comments.
You need to read the comments on what I just said.
Okay.
He said Tokpe wants a man that would kowtow to her ideas. He said Edo men are weak.
Basically not weak.
Weak is not
we cannot
and Edo men.
And let's avoid those ethnic profiling also. But yeah, let me come to you. We're defining masculinity.
So I heard Tokpe talking about, that's what I want to establish. It can't be universal. We cannot agree on what masculinity would mean. It will have to be subjective per person.
Yes,
Tokpe was just talking about her boys, and I'm dealing with a very kind-hearted, naturally best boy. I'm trying to toughen up.
I understand.
So when Tokpe goes that way, I'm like, I'm seriously trying to make sure that my own knows where to stand. And anytime my son says no to something, there's nothing you want to say in the world. Even if I'm there and say, hey, give him now. In my mind, I'm saying, thank God, he's not being nice today. He's being tough. It's rare to see, for me, from where I'm from. And I would say masculinity, for me, being a Muslim woman, is largely a man who knows how to take leadership. because I will not take away what the Quran has put in them as an attribute. Some men are there and just like that till their wives do everything. His business is, okay, when I go to work and I give you money, I've done everything. Sometimes the initiative will be, she's weak, she needs help, she's running around the house, or something is spoiling in the house, and you are doing something. There was a couple I was supposed to do divorce for. I actually had to let it because I became too close to the couple. And the man would just not lift a finger. He just doesn't know how. And he did not have money. He said to me,
double combination.
Double combination. So to him, every time he makes it, the marriage was over 20 years and the woman still left him. Because he waited for him to man up. That's what she used. I would love to see the day he says, school fees is due. This is what I have. Instead of her calling him, please help me complete it now. And he'll be like, hey, is the one about money only in 20 years? He just had the mindset that she was money conscious, whereas he wasn't even meeting up any need. And he did not even note what the responsibilities are. So they have 4 kids. School fees, she will remind him. They will be owing the school. She'll be running around borrowing the money. And he would not bother. And then when he finally leaves an amount of money, like, you're so disrespectful, you don't have appreciation. Then they kept going. I tried to change his mindset. I couldn't. And if I had gone through with that divorce, he would be, you did this against me. So for me, I will complete
leadership. I like that. Let me come to Ido, who is calling from Ibadan. Thanks for calling, Ido.
Good morning, Murayo, and all the women in the house. My name is Ido.
Yeah.
Just to contribute to what you are saying, I think it borders on inferiority complex on the part of some men. Some men can't handle the success of women. And go and check the background of such men and their outlook towards life generally. That's the problem. I'll give you an example. I have a master's degree. My wife did the master's degree and she was the best student. And I said, come, you can't be the best student. Go on and do a PhD. Which she got. She got a PhD. And when we go to church, people will say Chief and Dr. Mrs. I said, no, please, don't put Chief. My name is Mr. and Dr. Mrs. She earned the PhD. Me, I don't have a PhD. I don't have a problem. One man said, no, now, your wife can't be Dr. something and then you will be Mr. And I said, what does it change? It doesn't change anything. I think it's the complex type of thing and all the other things. I mean, it doesn't make any difference. The fact that she has a PhD, she does her things in the house. She gives me the respect. And there's a mutual respect between both of us. So for men who have such...
Thank you so much.
I hear, all the men want respect.
Yeah, but we'll define that too.
Exactly. Let's go there.
So I said leadership. I really would love that. And just yesterday, I was bagging rice. I was doing 5 kgs, and my son was sleeping. So just woke up and said, Mommy, can I help? Without the thing, bust my dada. It scattered my dada really. Till he finished helping me. This morning, when I was bathing him, I said, thank you for yesterday. And he felt so shy. So, he did something I could reciprocate. He did something, he earned his respect, for instance. He's taking the initiative to lead. He knew when a problem was happening. So, Nigerian men are the masculine men who think it's demeaning to do house chores. So you have a wife overburdened with house chores, and you cannot take initiative to say, let's get help for you. Or let's not get help for you, let me help you. You just see that.
So you're not asking for him to be domesticated.
No,
you're asking for
I'm
him
not saying that. No.
To know that when there's
a problem,
take responsibility.
When she's breaking down, killing herself, trying to do what is her duty, she does not have the initiative to think, I dare ask for help. A kind man, along with Topa and Miriam, would think, if I don't help this one, she'll just die. She'll kill herself. And then you do the right thing. You say, I don't want to grow old and just have you sick. I want to grow old with you, use time with you. Women will notice those things. It's not cash problem all the time.
People have not mentioned cash.
Basic things.
We haven't, though.
I'm surprised.
Because cash is not the only thing.
But it's cash important.
Because women nowadays can earn. Women nowadays can earn. So the money does not define a man anymore. Because I can equally earn. What will define you is what you do outside the money. Because if it is money,
she can train herself to be content.
A lot of women can put the same money on the table. So what are you now doing outside?
And in the case where the woman cannot make the money, you must have so much money that covers all your bad behavior. So that's how they do. So now you understand maybe where some of these girls are even coming from. I've seen so much bad behavior from my father towards my mother. I've seen so much bad behavior to my friend's husband towards her. If he had this amount of money, she wouldn't even be there she wouldn't even notice some things. If she needs help, all she has to do is get a house help, she gets a driver, she gets a gardener, if she is covering that. But if you're not covering that, then you have to step in and show your true character, which is good, proper character that shows that you're a team player. If you are unable to do that, then money is...
I wanted to complete this part of that leadership. So we have traditions that are stifling of women, even murdering women, outrightly. So some people have this, no, my family, we don't give birth through CS, we don't go to hospital. But one woman is saying, I stand by that tradition. A man is the one who looks at his wife, pleading eyes, maybe she dare not open her mouth and speak, and looks at her eyes and says, my own wife will not go through this, and stand up. But the one that says, is anything my mommy says, is anything my mommy says, and you're asking for respect, of course you'll be disrespected. If that woman survives that thing, she survives it, because if she doesn't survive, that's the way you get away. If she dares survive it, she will maltreat you.
You must be kind and confident.
That was number one on my list, which is maturity. I take that as maturity. Because for me, number one for a man has to be mature. I don't like to have date boys. You got to be a man who knows you're a man. When you come in, both your mother, your father, your sister, everybody knows that he has arrived and he's in charge. Mature men, a man must be mature. It's not about how much money you have. The fact that gives you leadership. So they say take leadership. So, as a leader, you're able to make decisions because you have earned the respect of people because of who you are. You're mature.
So there's also the abuse from your wife that you can also stand up to. You must be able to spot it. I always say that only God is the perfect judge. You can't make mistakes. I always say it. When a woman is the one that says, I don't want to see anybody around, and it's going to affect other women who are strong contributors to the growth of a man, the man should be able to say, I love you, but I love these people too. It's important to be able to make that balance. It's not just, you must lead. When it's time, you take leadership. It's not that, there's someone who is about their wives and their mothers are daily waiting for the wife person that you two go. You must do that balance as a man. Maturity, you just must balance it.
Okay, let us take Samuel. Thanks for calling, Samuel. You're live.
Hello.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, my name is Samuel from Oshibu. First time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, I'm 24 years old. I try to understand what you're talking about. So I am not I don't even have to get fed up. Have anything like this, but what I'm trying to say is that what I know about men want is, I know that for me, right for me to do not even have a father figure that is even, let me say, I know I have someone that I don't have someone that actually stand for me in any way, anything I do. I try to.
I think it's difficult to hear you. Okay. I think he is 24.
So it's very difficult to read.
Yes, it's not in a relationship, and he was talking about the fact that he's not.
So it's for men like that we're defining what masculinity is. So let it not be as if we're turning this conversation. Wait, we're not turning this around for women. Men today we're focusing on men. It's not about, we're not focusing on what we want. Like, it's not about you understand what the definition of a man is today from the perspective of women. However, we're still interested in men. What do you want? What society has said so much, women have said so much, but what do you want exactly?
So for a young woman whose idea of it is what you have read in the blogs. What you see about those ones that arrive in the latest cars and you say that's
or propose when they're kneeling down.
They're the ones we are talking to, so that you know what exactly the qualities are to look for. Because after money, they can't use money to buy.
So there's another thing also for men, which is the conversation on intimacy, and and many people will tell you that men don't really get to have conversations when they are growing up about that. So they go to these sites where they see it abused and they think that is how to do it. Someone has said that with women, once she's, getting into puberty, there's an auntie saying something, and you know, society will cross your legs, do this, do that, but men really don't get to hear that. So in the conversation about intimacy, I think Nigerian men would need older men to guide them, and that what you see on TV on those sides, that is not what is ideal, and that's not what women
Fantastic.
want.
I want to dwell on that for a minute. But let me take Yinka. Good morning, Yinka. You're live.
Good morning, Mariah.
Good morning, Yinka.
I'm very, very happy to be online today. I've been trying to get to your view all this while.
Happy to have you today.
Yeah, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
I think I love the topic you ladies brought up tonight, this morning rather. I'm very close to my 50s, and I'm a father, a husband at home. But I'm an engineer, so I travel a lot. But every time I come around, I always see that the home is always in shape. I know I have 3 kids. I know my wife does a lot. She's a businesswoman also. But the truth is this. She gives me the kind of respect I require at home. Knowing fully well that coming from out there, there is a lot I go through. Well, she has her own side too. I stand for her when it's needed. And sometimes when she makes some decision that I don't want to see this, I don't want to see that, I tell her, Madam, you are coming from your family, whereby it's your father and your people around you. But me, I'm coming from a very large family, because I was not brought up by my parents. I stayed with my mom's auntie. So I know what it means to have people around. But yet, I don't allow our father to trample on our rights, including my siblings.
Thank you very much, Yinka.
Let's take
a comment on social media.
Franklin Benjamin says, without deviating from the issue, what I want is respect, peace of mind, understanding. This includes in and out of the house. But these things appear to be elusive. But if a woman can give this to a man, he won't mind society. Then Choku's what brought drama. He brought a picture, he said, what do men want? Society, they too, they pressure us, we want peace. He now put a picture of a house with 1 chair and TV. He says,
oh God,
what men really think. And women hate that it takes just little to make us happy. You know, and he doesn't know men who buy gadget after gadget. I don't
so there's the intimacy part, which I don't know, because we have very little time. Men, there are 2 sides, the good, the bad, and the ugly. There are men who have no clue, and there are men who are over-experienced, and they have these fantasies that are beyond human comprehension, that a young girl doesn't understand. So their demands, oh, don't deny you. And the woman is like, hey, don't kill me, I'm not a horse. And there are some men that they are not confident enough to say, I don't know what to do, I'm clueless. And the women are there suffering inside. So this is a whole nother ball game.
It's a full day topic.
It's a full day topic.
But that's something that we don't talk about. We should also talk about, because we're celebrating men, and our goal is to help men lead us right, because like it or not, we live in a world where men are our leaders. And if we can help them do a good job, we will thrive as women. So in building the block for masculinity is that men need male role models, the same way women. We always have, many women have role models. You have that area auntie that is calling you to say, or like they would correct you that don't carry your baby like that, don't do this. But who is standing in that gap for men? Men need role models. Any man in his 70s, 80s that has raised good children and has done good business or has retired, take up 3 or 4, 40-something, 30-something, 20-something, and mentor them, because they need guidance. They don't know what to do. They are living in a different world. And men should also be open towards self-development. When you see conferences, you will find women everywhere. Church program, women. Conference, women. Where conferences for men, very, very few, apart from business. We don't talk about men's conference about their emotion. We don't talk about emotional intelligence for men. The only thing for men's conference is business, how to make money. But they also have other parts of that is important. So please let men attend self-development conferences that help them balance their emotions well, and they should get mentors.
Just the thoughts that came because Miriam mentioned intimacy now. You know, who set the standard for men?
Relative peace of mind. Number 2, men want respect. And like the first caller first said, that men are the most marginalized individual in the world.
You agree,
We are the most Yes, we are the most marginalized. Have you heard father of Jesus?
You know, father of Jesus.
You have not heard the father of Jesus.
Joseph, now we all know Joseph.
We already heard in Muslim, we already Yahweh Nabi.
Yahweh Nabi.
Yes, now, if all the money men have, you are, as all of you are there in this studio now, all of you, I think all of you have sons. You will find out that at the end of the day, the man will be in the house, even at their 70s and 80s and 60s. The women are the ones doing go up and down, so all over the world.
They want respect. They don't want to be marginalized, and they want to be given that respect as well. They're provided, just as provider here. That's what I've gotten so far. But from the women on the table, I've said, what exactly? How do we define 21st century men, 2023 men? Number one, you have to be confident. As a man, you have to be kind. That kindness, I've come across, all of us have said kindness. Use your ego positive. So we understand you have ego. Don't use it negatively. Use it positively. Then be supportive, right? And then be a leader. Be kind again. And then be mature.
Yes.
And be responsible. And talk to somebody. And be a role model. I think those are the things. Those are the words. Those are the words that have come out so far. And the next thing for I was going to take Angie. I'd like to end with Engineer Dr. Tijani. He always gives me some really good insights, and I'd like to end our summation with him. Although I can take some comments after this.
Okay.
Well, his summation, which I think is a fantastic way to recap everything. He says, a man is that creature that deserves more affection to maintain his mental wellness because of the burden he's expected to shoulder, number one. A man deserves to be honored, assisted, and respected both in private and public places. A man is that creature who nurtures heavy burden in his heart due to societal expectations from him in the name of being a man. I'm pleading with women to support men in their quest to perform their responsibilities. No single man wants to wake up in the morning without having any means to cater for his family. Men should be encouraged, and this will enhance their resilience, perseverance, steadfastness to succeed. Happy International Men's Day to all responsible men.
To all responsible men. I love it.
I love it.
Let me take Dr. Mark. He says, but keep in mind that the role of men stems from historic culture that restricted the ability of women to work, which is no longer the case. Since women can now work, these men should no longer indulge pressure and competition. Instead, do your best and find a wife who can help with the rest.
He said that competition word in passing, but it's an important word for us to highlight.
Pressure, you even slash it, pressure/competition. Instead of that, just do your best, because you have a wife who can at least support. Yemi Bloke says, actually, Nigeria is fair to men, but society does not. Men without money are treated like trash. We never appreciate men that give us time and attention, but we celebrate the money giver. Yeah, you know, women nowadays just now time I go shop. Ibrahim said,
a good man is what I need. I just wanted to remind all the women out there, the same way I would appeal for men to do something special for our women when we're doing our International Women's Day or we're doing Mother's Day. I would like, if you have any man in your life, do something special for them as we celebrate International Men's Day on Sunday. And I want to reiterate the point I made in passing, that treat any man that you know like he's coming back from a war zone, because that would mean you're bringing him peace and you're bringing him respect. You're not going to put your own on him because you're imagining that whatever burden he's carrying is more. And worst case, he can't even tell you the entirety of what he's carrying in most cases. So,
yes, let me end with this that happened yesterday. I was saying to my husband that parenting can be sometimes a thankless job. He said sometimes husbanding too. So please be nice to your husband and appreciate them for all that they do, especially responsible men. They even get more pressure. So thank you.
Okay. Cook for your husband. So on Sunday I'll be doing maybe fried rice or jollof rice, because So, men's
International Men's Day. So you use food.
I will use food to women way to his heart. My husband
And then you will follow up.
I always eats at home.
I always pretend as if Brown doesn't like pounded yam, and which is for me, that is his.
Yes,
I always act as if my husband is modern, doesn't eat the story. When you bring grandma does pounded yam, you see to mommy,
the little boy,
like a little boy. So I'll try to.
You do pounded yam this weekend. I've set you up. Mr. Brown.
I have mortar and pestle, so I bring it to you.
All right, happy International Men's Day on Sunday.
Yes.
Please celebrate the men in your lives, your partner, YK and their partners, the husbands, the brothers, the boyfriends. Please celebrate all the men in our lives. Have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you Monday, but Veronica will be with the ladies tomorrow. See you then. Bye for now.